It took me 5 years to hit my first 100K a month. That's not very sexy, especially in today's day and age, but I'm gonna give you the 4 things we implemented so you can do it in the next 90 days. In December of 2024, we did $17,058.29 in revenue. No sales calls, no outreach, no deals were closed. I actually spent 3 weeks in Costa Rica reflecting, planning, and mapping out the strategy on what was going to get us to those 6-figure months. The next month, January 2025, we did $157,000 in revenue. So why the hell should you even listen to me in the first place? Who am I? What do we do? I'm Carter Vincentini. I've ran Versatile Agency, a full service real estate marketing firm for the last 4.5 years. Worked with over 227 agents across Canada and the US. I've done $100,000 months, $200,000 months. And now I also help people take their real estate SMMA from 0 to 10K a month, 10 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100, whether it's signing your first client or hitting that first 6-figure month yourself. We also help out with that. So if you're interested in entertaining, working directly with me, I actually take these calls myself still. You can click the first link in the description, book in a call to potentially join off-campus coaching and seeing if we're a good fit to work together. But that's who I am, what I do. Like this video, subscribe, comment down below. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're pretty close to being there. Let's jump into the 4 things I implemented back at the start of 2025 to actually start consistently hitting 6-figure months. Let's get into it. Thing number 1 is doubling down on building the brand. People connect with people, not faceless brands. So for example, the people you follow on Instagram right now, they're all people. You probably 99% of the accounts that you follow are actual individuals. Go look at how many brands you follow, like maybe Nike, Rolex, Champ, I don't know. Go look at whatever brands you follow, and it probably makes up for 1% of your following. My realization was that ads can be copied. Anyone can go on the Facebook ad library and see every single ad that we're running and copy them. But at the end of the day, that's not why people choose to work with us or sign the agreement or pay for the service. They didn't see the ad, click a link, and buy the service. If that was the case, well then, yeah, obviously it would be 100% focused on just, running sick ads. But people chose to work with us because of the brand and the team and who we are and how I hold myself in the content and what I'm, saying in the ad or what we're doing in the sales call. People like to work with people. So what they can't copy is your personal brand and how you show up. So what I wanted to start doing was doubling down on showcasing the team, who we are, what we stand for, the behind the scenes, because the ads are just the very, very first step, top of the funnel to get people in. But after that, what converts them is them going down the content funnel and watching all the reels, watching the YouTube videos, having a good sales call, us providing value, showcasing who we are, what we do. That's why people sign and work with us. No one once that has ever joined us said, yeah, I chose to work with you because your ad was really cool, and then I just paid. It's never happened. They went and did the due diligence to watch the content, watch the YouTube, watch the interviews, had a great sales call. So we wanted to double down on being different in the space and just building a crazy good brand. Thing number 2 was increasing our prices. We raised our prices by $2,000 and nothing broke. Actually, things got better. Our conversion rate increased, to be honest. So there was nothing that we lost from by increasing our prices. We ended up making more. We ended up converting higher. We ended up working with more of our ideal ICP because now you filter out the people that you probably don't want to work with, which is just newer individuals or people that don't have any money or people that are going to be fully relying on you to change their life and their business and get them more deals. With increasing your prices, if that's what your plan is to become more boutique or to work with a higher quality ICP, maybe you have a low ticket funnel and you want to attract just anyone and everyone and help newer agents, maybe that's what your funnel would look like. But for us, we want to become the top boutique real estate marketing firm in Canada. So with that comes high prices, very expensive, good team. We know what we're doing. We get results 95% of the time when we work with our ideal ICP. A key mindset shift here is stop believing you can't charge more. You can, for the most part. I bet you 95% of you can charge more, and just do it and test it for a couple months. If your close rate absolutely tanks, well, then there you go. You can. You should be a perfect close rate is 30%. So if you're at 30%, that's perfect. If you're a little bit higher than that, that's fine. If you're a little bit lower, that's also fine. But if you're closing at like 50%, 60%, that just means you're undercutting the market. You're charging way less than you should be. And in return, you're doing a lot more work, closing a lot more people, when you could just be making more, closing less people, doing less work if you just actually increase your prices. So I challenge you to just increase your prices and see what happens. Thing number 3 is cold outreach consistently. Most people quit cold outreach because it's very tedious and very boring. Fun fact about us, we actually only did cold outreach. Well, I actually only did cold outreach for 3.5 years straight. And we hit our peak month of $77,000 in a month from just me, only me, doing cold outreach, doing all the setting work, and taking all the sales calls. So if you are trying to remove yourself from that process to save time, even though you have a shit ton of time, I challenge you to just be better with your time and doing what it is that you're doing, and either wake up earlier or stay up later, but never stop doing cold outreach, because you will eventually be reaching out to people that are actively looking for that service, that are watching other ads or scrolling on Instagram looking for an agency. You're gonna be bound to reach out to some of those people. So you want to have multiple different pillars in your business anyways. You don't want to be fully reliant on paid ads or content or YouTube, which is why we've always consistently done cold outreach. Now we have paid ads. Now we have a LinkedIn posting strategy. Now we have inbound through content. Now we have referrals. We have multiple different pillars of acquisition, but I wanted to double down and do even more cold outreach. Outreach is still one of the most predictable client acquisition methods, because you'll get to a point where eventually you know that if you send X amount of DMs, you make X amount of calls, you send X amount of emails, you're going to get X amount of replies, book a certain amount of meetings, and probably close a certain amount of deals. Predictability. Thing number 4, and the biggest of them all, was obviously the paid ads system. We finally committed to running a direct book a call VSL funnel. So we filmed some video ads. I think it was like 3 or 4 different video ads. We were driving all this traffic to a custom built landing page. On that landing page, we had a VSL, video sales letter, that was like 7 minutes long. And then we had the calendar to book in a call right below that. We were not at all shooting for high quality. It was literally, the VSL was just like somewhat just calling out the people we wanted to work with. It wasn't even that. It was more so just breaking down the service a little bit. And then for people to actually book in a call, there was no qualification whatsoever. It was literally just pick a date and time and type in your name, number, email, and that was it. We didn't have a setter. I wasn't doing any setting. I wasn't calling them, qualifying them, asking them any questions. So we were just shooting for as much quantity as we could, getting as many calls as we could. In return, I was working like an absolute dog and had 6, 7, 8 sales calls a day. I was taking calls from like 9 in the morning till 7:30, 8 p.m. at night. It was just literally doing that, and that's it. Like taking sales calls, following up with people I had sales calls yesterday, second follow-up calls, sending out contracts. That's literally all I was doing for basically 2.5, 3 months straight. But it worked. And obviously we've now optimized it because we don't want to work with anyone and everyone, and it's just one big headache, and a lot of different problems come with that. But in the initial stages, you'll probably do that in the beginning and then go through this exact same process that we went through. But we started running the paid ad system, and that was one of the big plays. So those are the 4 pillars and the 4 things that took us from doing $17,000 in December to quite literally the next month doing $157,000. And now we're doing the same shit. We're trying to get to that next peak and hit those next goals before, we want to do it before 2026 this time, but we're doing the same thing you guys are doing. Obviously, it could just be at a bigger scale, or it could not be. At the end of the day, everyone's going through the peaks and valleys in business. It's just a matter of how long you can actually stay in the game and if you can push through those hard moments. But yeah, so core lesson here is business growth is about focus, execution, and not trying to do everything at once. Really take a deep dive and look at your business and see what it is that you need to do. Hopefully you got some value out of this and you know what maybe some of those next steps could be. Do me a favor, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.